All just speaking from the heart today. Oh. Okay, give us just one moment. Okay, caller, are you with us? Are our callers with us?
Yeah.
Who are we speaking with?
This is Manny.
Okay, Manny, we're going to get right back with you, sir, okay? If you can just hold on for just a moment.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. TJ, you got anything you want to interject while we're getting our guests set back up on the line?
Well, my only question was, as I was interjecting in the last conversation, is how long do we march? How long do we protest? We've been doing that for decades.
Right. And
they have evolved. We haven't evolved because we keep doing the same thing.
Right. It's like we're spinning our wheels.
We're spinning our wheels. They evolved from white sheets to our judges, to our policemen, to our congressmen. We haven't. So how long do we continue to march in protest and nothing is changing? What is the definition of insanity?
Right. Caller, give me one moment, TJ. Our caller, do we have you on the line? Okay, yes, you are back on the line.
Okay.
Are you there with us, Kevin?
What I was saying, we have women doing the work that the men are lacking in. You know, we have more women pushing forward to make an effort in this movement to get equality going on before a lot of our men. And I'm glad to see that we do have men stepping up and.
Manny, can you hold your thoughts for 1 second, Manny? We're having a little bit of reception issues.
Stepping up doing things, but you don't see as many of the women getting the same situation, getting done to us, brutalized, like the black men, because the fact that they want to use the black men for working corporate game. This is my perception of it. The women the same way back in the older days, the slavery days, just never left and never went anywhere.
Right.
The only thing they did is modernized it.
Right.
So that's pretty much my take on it. I think it's just been modernized to where we still, say for instance, I went to go get a loan. They won't give me a loan. They'll give me a minority loan if I give my wife 51%. But why can't a black man just get his own loan on his own, you know what I'm saying, without having to have the woman do it? And now the woman, we got to wear our women. If you go on Facebook, you see most of the black women disrespecting all the black men, saying that they're not about anything. I can't use those certain words, and they dog them out like we're not nothing. And
so I need to interject on that. I need to interject. And I need to interject. My brother, stop. Slow down a bit, my brother. Now, no. Hear me out. This is DJ Smooth, the host of this show.
Where we were at, though, and
hold on, Kevin. I hear DJ Smooth.
One moment.
Are we connected?
Yes, we are connected.
Okay, great. All right,
great.
Go ahead,
now,
Kevin.
Let me interject, please.
Okay.
One moment. The reason all of this has happened is because it was designed to keep, to eliminate the black man. Back in the 80s when I got out of the military, I read an article that was brought about by the leader of the KKK at that time on how to eliminate the black family. And that was to give the woman all the jobs and authority and everything that the man was had. And, to make him look down on her. Now, with that being said, if we fast forward, we are living out that very thing. Now, with that being said, what is the solution? And Brother Kevin, I'm going to turn this back over to you. But those questions are because I tried to open up a business. I lost everything in business, but I had to go through my white counterparts in order to get that business open, which left me open to losing everything I had.
DJ Smooth, how much more time are you allowing us? Because we don't want to lose sight of the reality of what we are, because we're getting long-winded on various topics. Well, how much more time are you giving us?
We're going to go to 6 o'clock.
Okay, so it's like my time is 6 minutes. It's almost 7 o'clock right now.
Right,
so
it's almost 5 o'clock. Yep, it's almost 5 o'clock my time. So we're going to go to 6 o'clock my time. And I'm going to turn this back over to you guys.
Okay. All right, so I'd like to end with this, with the demands from the petition from We the People and the resolutions to this police reform and police brutality. So go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, well, Jeff, I'm going to kind of do a switch up with you then, Jeff. And that would be, considering your amount of time that you spent under the system for the trumped up charges and the time that they took from you. Because I really still wanted to touch on the women who have been brutalized. And even though we touched on it, we kind of got away from it. And I still wanted to touch on it because I don't want people to think that this is a male issue. We have a very patriarchal society, and I really want us to understand that this is something that transcends that. Death is death. It doesn't matter what sex you were when you're dead. And we have to look at the fact that we have had women brutalized. We've had pregnant women thrown to the ground by officers that were out of control. We have had women shot and killed in jail and before they got to jail. So I wanted to touch on that. You have females in your family, Jeff. You have daughter, beautiful daughter. What is your thoughts on that? And then we're going to speak to a couple of the queens about this same issue really quickly. So, Jeff, if you're with us, would you touch on that, please?
Well, the thing about, racism, it's been here, it's going to always be here because they are taught. And the fact that, black women and black men get brutalized by the police is because it's a referendum on the black race to make it plain. And it really doesn't matter. And, I think that, in the old days, they used to just hang us and be done with it. And I feel that a lot of those people that really want to do harm to black people join the police force where they could do it legally or illegally and be supported by the police department and the prosecutors. And I was speaking to Liz earlier today, and I was trying to explain to her that, most, if not all, prosecutors, law enforcement, and judges are Masons. And most, if not all of them in the South are Ku Klux Klan. See, they join the police force to do what they used to do as far as hanging us. And that's why we have so much hatred for some police. Not all police are bad, but you got the ones that are bad, which causing the other ones to be looked upon with disconcernment or whatever, however you want to say it. And the reason for that is because all of them is in a society. They're in a secret society. And that's why they don't prosecute. That's why they walk every time they do something to us. And just like the brother said, I agree with him. All this marching and stuff, that's good. That's good. But it's not doing any good. Actually, when they did the civil rights movement, they marched in, okay? And it did a lot of good. But as long as they know that all we're going to do is protest and have peaceful marches, they're going to continue to do what they do. So that's why we need to come together like we're doing now. But it needs to be everybody. It don't need to be 200 or 300 people when we got 12 million. We got to have a movement. And the movement got to be spoken. You got to go these people out all.
Well, one of my strategies is to cast a web that connects the dots for all the independent organizations and parts throughout the country, and cast a nationwide web on this situation to contain it, because it really does need containment.
I love you, brother, but you just did something very patriarchal, and you jumped in front of two queens.
Oh, I didn't hear them. I'm sorry.
They ain't get a chance. You jumped.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't
just wanted to get and I just want everybody to understand that there's somewhere I'm headed with this, because when we start talking about solutions, we have to look at every aspect of the problem. We can't just look at the male part of it or the youth part of it. The queens that have been attacked, this is a problem. This is a huge problem. So I do want to hear, this is why I wanted a couple of our queens to speak on their positions on it. And that's why I just want, we're not going for 38 hours. I just want to get some perspective on it, because when we start looking at the solutions, we need to have all of these things on the table. So, Cortez, right after the queens, then we will go back to you to touch on that before we go to the rest, to Brother Lee and Brother Taurus and the rest of them. Queen Kim, would you give us briefly your thoughts on the females that have been abused via law enforcement, the murders and the sexual assaults and all the other things, if you would? And then Lady T, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it right after that as well.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Kim Cook, Queen, Panther Party Council, Queen. Go ahead, Queen. I got you.
I'm glad you said it.
I got it.
This is a difficult topic when I look at young black women who have been brutalized by law enforcement. Me being a black woman, the mother of 4 children, 1 black man and 3 young black women. I fear for them. I grew up in the Northeast, and it was very hard trying to maintain that positive light on law enforcement. I have family that was law enforcement, so naturally I love them because they were my family. However, those others, I grew a very deep distaste in my mouth for them. I have been pushed up against walls. I have been felt up. I have been digitally penetrated by those wonderful law enforcement men. It is not a good thing. I grew up, and when I became a single parent, I was afraid to even take my son with me to the corner store because, nice looking. I don't think I'm ugly, but it always drew attention. And before I knew it, here's a squad car. Where are you going? How you doing? Complete disrespect in front of my young 2-year-old son. Again, accosted, not doing anything. They just wanted a cheap deal. As I served in the military, I learned a lot. I learned the discipline I needed to have because I became a very angry young lady. And I can tell you I carried everything under the sun. The military did help me with my attitude, helped me adjust, helped me become a better black woman, not just a woman, and own it. I had 4 generations growing up, so I too had family that were slaves that I got to learn a lot from. And it wasn't God that got them through. It was the spirituality that got them through and the belief in one another that got them through. It had nothing to do with God. So, and that's what they taught me, to believe in myself and help someone else, give them the tools that they need, and be that tool that helps other people stand up. Here I am in my early 50s, and I, sit on several boards in the community, and I still got, officers. I've been 6 months ago, been stopped, wasn't doing anything, just letting people just move back and forth from out of the grocery stores. And I guess he wanted to park near the front door, and he got out, started yelling at me, told me to move my car, which I couldn't do. He's parked behind me, people in front of me. He starts yelling and screaming. At first I was afraid, but then I got pissed off. I felt that young lady from back in the 80s and the 90s start to rise up. Then I had to remember that I'm a mother and that I am my children's only remaining parent. My husband died in 2010. So I'm by myself. And, I'm thinking about all of these young women, not just men, because I'm looking at women being accosted, being killed in prison, and I have to make a decision. Do I be that 20-something, 30-something year old or do I bite my tongue and cry about it later? I will tell you, I didn't end up saying anything. However, I did try to read his badge, and when he realized what I was doing, that's when his partner basically told him to chill out.